Board of Trustees of Harris County Department of Education now convened in a board meeting on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022 in the boardroom here at 6300 Irvington Boulevard, Houston, Texas. It is now 1:04 p.m. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present at this Board of Trustees, meeting of the Board of Trustees. As trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent and his staff, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. It's the management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. This meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. And we will begin with invocation by Nkechi Washington of the Schools Division.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you for that. Next on the agenda is the open forum, but I see that we have no one signed up to speak. So we will go on to reports and presentations, starting with the Employee of the Month presentation by Ms. Natasha Truitt, our Executive Director of Human Resources. Ms. Truitt.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Today I am proud to introduce to you HCDE's September 2022 Employee of the Month, Ms. Marcela Ferrero, a family service provider with our Head Start division who embodies the spirit of Head Start. Marcella is the epitome of a self-starter. She can always be found looking for ways to better serve the Pew Head Start families while building positive relationships with the students and their parents. As part of these efforts, Marcella helps families apply for the Head Start program, and once enrolled, she works diligently to ensure they can find employment, identify rental assistance if needed, and locate medical and dental care. Marcella is a leader in Head Start, often finding resources that will better support her work and sharing them with all her Head Start counterparts. She is considered the go-to family service provider, helping new FSPs navigate their jobs and supporting her colleagues at other campuses with enrollment duties and case management. Jasmine Emo, the Head Start Health and Family Services Manager who nominated Marcella, said she has a willing spirit. Marcella always has a willing heart to go the extra distance to train and mentor new FSPs, as well as the new social worker interns. Jasmine said, Marcella is a great collaborator and shows a constant commitment to her Head Start families and staff. Marcella is known for her follow-through and attention to detail, contacting individual families to ensure they are getting the most of available resources and assistance. This past winter, after hearing parents lament that their children did not have jackets, she researched organizations that provide opportunities for students to receive winter coats. Her diligence paid off as every student at Pew Head Start received a new coat for the winter. Her compassion, cheerful outlook, and genuine demeanor serve as a role model for her colleagues as she demonstrates her ability to make tough decisions and support families even when it's beyond her job duties. Her welcoming spirit transcends the traditional parent involvement within Head Start and has created a culture of support, generosity, and kindness at the Pew campus. Our communications team created a short video that will give you a sneak peek of some of the amazing work of Marcella.
Buenos días, Regina. ¿Cómo estás, mi amor?
Marcella is a very dynamic
Yeah, sí,
person.
muy
Her
bien.
work is impeccable.
Good job. I love to work with families. I love to work with kids and helping them to achieve goals. I love their smiles. I love the innocence. Sometimes I feel they need more help. Sometimes it's tears in the eyes, and I say something happened with this family.
Not only does she do the things that she's supposed to do as an FSP, but she does things that she knows that her family needs, even without asking. You see her heart for this work that she does, and for her it's not work. She enjoys coming to work every single day.
I see passion. And that's what makes me really know that Marcella is such a perfect fit because of how she interacts whenever you are on this campus.
Sometimes the family needs help with the rent, for example, and they came here to say, Ms. Marcella, I can pay the rent this month. And every month our family receive a food here in our school.
Marcella exemplifies what it means to be a family services provider within Head Start.
She's a go-getter. She balances our center, and to me, we can throw ideas off on each other and come up with solutions.
She'll always call and say, Michelle, what do you think about this? And I always incorporate a lot of what she suggests because it's right.
I always feel like I have a family here. I have my co-workers and my supervisor. Is like I feel no worries to talk with them.
As a co-worker, she's great, but just being a friend, just being a person you can go talk to, she's been a good person. And I love her for that. And I hope she continues to be here.
Our September 2022 Employee of the Month, Marcela Ferrero.
All right, crowd in. So everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time.
How about one with Ms. Jones?
This way. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Now, that kind of pride in our employees from a boss like Ms. Jones is something I think we all aspire to have. So, Ms. Jones, thank you too for your leadership in providing the leadership you provide to Pew, to that community in Denver Harbor, and to your staff. And again, congratulations, Ms. Forero. And now we'll have our superintendent's monthly report. Mr. Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just actually have a couple things to present this month. As you know, this is our second year of doing the tools for teachers. And apparently word has gotten out, and many people are aware of this initiative now because they have kind of flooded the lines in less than an hour. Just wanted to give you a quick update that as of right now, we've had 1,480 orders have been fulfilled. And so we'll continue to monitor that. And as we discussed earlier or later last year, any money or anything that's left over, we'll roll that over to the spring and then do a phase 2 of that. I'd like to bring recognition to Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a cool month, and so we've prepared a video that Comms has put together, and we'd like to show you that.
Hello, I am Harris County Department of Education Board President Richard Cantu, and as a Hispanic American, I celebrate all the contributions from my fellow Hispanic Americans. I am grateful to all those trailblazers that set me up for opportunities. That includes my parents, Ramiro y Maria Cantu, who immigrated from Mexico in the 1950s to seek the American dream for our family's future. My father worked a blue-collar job and sacrificed so much so that we would all have the best opportunities possible.
I am so grateful for the many contributions made by Latino Americans in history, paving the way to the opportunities I have today. Hello, I'm Amy Hinojosa, HCDE School Board Trustee. Just 2 generations ago, my grandparents worked and lived as migrant workers in very harsh conditions. Their hard work and determination to elevate my parents to a better life, and my parents' work to elevate me, inspires me every day to continue their legacy, laying the foundation for the future. I celebrate them, the generations before them, and the generations to come.
La vida es como un baile. Hay que celebrar la vida cada día y estar orgullosas de nuestras raíces. I am Alma Ochoa, Secretary to the Principal at ABS West. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month means something special to me because we get to see the unique traditions and histories from different Hispanic cultures. I am proud and grateful for being a Latina, being Hispanic. It's beautiful for our strength and perseverance, and we are hardworking people. I was born in Mexico. My parents brought me to the United States when I was 11 years old with my twin sister. I am number 14 in the family. My parents and brothers are a huge inspiration to me. I feel very proud of my roots, culture, family, and music.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jesus Amezquit. The influences and rich culture that Hispanic Americans bring to our society are something that I'm thankful for. Growing up in Laredo, Texas, my father and my mother were my biggest influences in my life. They both instill me the importance of education, the importance of being ready for the future. And so the culture in itself nurture what I am today. And so we're celebrating Hispanic heritage. I want to thank all the Hispanic community, and let's celebrate the heritage of your own.
I'm Dr. Donna Trevino-Jones, a principal for Academic and Behavior School East. I'm a first-generation high school and college graduate for my family. My parents were humble teenagers when they had me and instilled a hard work ethic so that I could get an education, which opened many doors to several opportunities. Of the many accomplishments I have, I am most proud to be a bilingual and special education educator. Nothing gives me more joy than to see a child learn and accomplish what they thought would be impossible.
I am Mariangela Galvan Rubio. I work in ABS West. Este mes que celebramos la cultura, celebramos el origen, celebramos todo lo que significa llamarlo una herencia hispana.
Awesome video, and more than anything,
I didn't know you had gotten the recording of me on guitar, though.
Yeah, I'm sure that was you. Coolest thing of that video is seeing your parents, so I thought that was awesome. With that, Mr. President, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. And now our annual division update from Dr. Ned with the Schools Division. Dr. Ned.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. You got it? Okay. All right, good afternoon. And again, I'm Charles Ned, and I proudly serve as the Senior Director of Schools here with the Harris County Department of Education. On behalf of the Schools Division, I'd like to thank you all for your service as well as the opportunity to highlight our schools. I'd like to begin by asking members of my team, our central office team, that really helps to make my work a little bit less rigorous on a day in, day out basis. I'd like to ask members of our central office team to please stand. They do a phenomenal job each and every day. Working to support our principals, working to support our schools division staff. So again, I truly appreciate them, and our schools division cannot function as smoothly as it does without them. So we appreciate you guys. So, obviously that's our central office team, but the straw that stirs the drink, it's the work that happens at our campuses. And, our principals, they have truly mastered the art of being exceptional. And at this time, I'd like to recognize our principals and allow them to please stand. Thank you all for your work and what you bring to the campus each and every day as it pertains to leadership and obviously support for our partner districts and our students as well. So now we're following up several exceptional videos, and we have one more to share as it pertains to schools. So this will provide a bit of a profile as it pertains to who we are and what we do.
The Harris County Department of Education has 4 special schools, each designed for students with unique needs. HCDE's campuses serve emotionally as well as physically disabled students, many with autism, at both Academic Behavior Schools East and West. And in the Greens Point area, Fortis Academy, where students are recovering from drug and alcohol addictions. And for at-risk youth, High Point Middle and High School.
Here at HCDE, our campuses are extremely unique in regards to the services that we provide to the students of Harris County. One could say that we're almost so unconventional in the way that we take different approaches to deal with different types of issues.
So today we're going to talk about an issue that happened yesterday, and it had to do with computers. And I think there is like a misunderstanding or maybe some...
Each school provides an academically strong and socially and emotionally nurturing environment to bring up or keep students at grade level, teach behavior-appropriate strategies, and to prepare students to return to their home campuses ready for success.
Actually get destroyed because very high concentration of hydrochloric acid.
This is a stepping stone to get to where you need to go. Our goal is to make you be successful once you leave out of here.
We're helping them look at different careers, and we're finding ways to prepare them for that. But our students here, they were in pre-AP and AP classes and doing well. We have the cream of the crop, and what we hope to do here is really just engage them with that same level of engagement that they would get at their home campus.
So when it reacts with acid.
HCDE assists 25 surrounding school districts, going well beyond the boundaries of our county, serving nearly 700 students.
They believe in everything that Thomas Jefferson wrote in that Declaration.
And to guide the transformations and transitions are quality, experienced faculty and staff, all possessing a passion for students' growth and their success.
Anyone who takes on the responsibility and assumes the responsibility of working with our population of students, I really believe that, number one, it's a passion and it's a calling. Because when you walk into the building every day, you just never know what you're going to get. Our job is to teach them other ways. What are those replacement behaviors? What are other things, other strategies that you can use to help you become more successful?
I'm so happy, he is a part of this program. The progress that I've seen and the support that he has at that school has completely changed his life. I'm measurably grateful for that.
So here's a list of the in-county, out-of-county, as well as charter schools that we provide services to. I've highlighted the newest ISDs and charters for this school year. We're bringing El Campo on board this year, as well as Cleveland ISD, Navasota ISD, Willis ISD, in addition to international leadership of Texas and Yes Prep Public Schools. So that is a huge compliment to the work that we do for districts far and wide to really look at HCDE to meet the needs and provide an education for their students. So far, we have a total of 480 contracts. So we kind of anticipate our numbers continuing to increase. I think we're probably at pre-COVID numbers this year as it pertains to our AB campuses, our Fortis, and as well as High Point. And this total number exceeds contract totals for the past 3 years. So we anticipate more contracts being obtained by schools division as the needs of school districts continue to increase. Last school year, we provided services to 797 students in total. And as you can see from the slide, these students come to us with a variety of learning disabilities as well as co-occurring disorders. One of the things that is front and center in public education in this current time is school safety. We all know of some of the events that have transpired over the course of the past year, and obviously it seems as though daily, we hear something that has occurred at one of our high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, as it pertains to safety. And so safety has always been a high priority for us. And although there's not a single solution to solve all of the safety issues, our approach is comprehensive, and we focus on proactive and preventative measures that we take to promote safety. So in your package, there's a few handouts that highlight strategies. This is one that really does a deep dive into some of the strategies that we have in place at our campuses to ensure that we are safe and we are keeping our campuses safe and secure. And due to time constraints, I'll elaborate on a few strategies that we have in place. We've been working closely with Julia Andrews, Director for Center and Safe and Secure Schools, to assess our current safety protocols and address blind spots. Safety audits, that's something that TEA has mandated for school districts across the state, and we're going to be no different in terms of being able to follow the protocols that's been put out there, the recommendations that's been made, by Texas Center for Safe and Secure Schools. And safety audits will occur throughout the year to really check our blind spots, test our threats, our hazards, vulnerabilities to ensure that we're safe and secure learning environment. One of the other aspects of what we're doing is during a PD day we have in October, we're going to require all of our staff to participate in active shooter training. This is something that it's not as unique as it once was. Most districts have introduced this to their districts and have their teachers participating in this. And we just want our staff to know how to respond in the event of an active shooter situation. And this is also something that's being facilitated by the Center for Safe and Secure Schools. One of the other aspects that we wanted to ensure that we had some uniformity with was just how do we respond to different emergency situations that occur during the year. The most common one is our weather incidents that occur where we have severe weather and we have to shelter in place or we have to leave the campus. And again, it's one of those things in which we want to make sure that the standard response around protective actions that campuses take when emergencies arises, that it's consistent at all of our schools. For those of you, every one of you have been out to one of our campuses, at least one of the campuses, and you know that we are relatively more secure than most schools where you have to go through a gate to gain access. Then once you get to the front entrance, you have to get buzzed in, or if you have a badge, you'll use your badge, and your badge will allow you access. So this is one of the things that we want to ensure, A, that the controlled access points are functional, B, that if there are any areas where we don't have controlled access points, that we address those. We want to eliminate practices of taking a book and put it in between a door to keep it open while we go outside and come back in, because obviously it only takes a split second for something to happen. So, again, this is an area that we're addressing as well to ensure that we're able to control and restrict entry to intruders at our schools. And the last thing I want to highlight is that we benefit from a strong and committed partnership with the Harris County Sheriff's Office as they supply our SROs for our campuses. And, this has been extremely beneficial for us as we've been able to utilize them to work with our students. And they do a great job of building relationships with kids. But now, obviously, what's most critical is for them to do checkpoints throughout the day in which they check the interior and the exterior of the building for safety. And so this is something that it helps to make the staff as well as the students feel safe collectively. And also if there's any events occurring outside of the campus in the community, they're able to bring that information to us and we're able to respond accordingly. So again, we're very appreciative of them, and again, all the things that we're doing, we're working to ensure that we have a safe and secure learning environment for our students and staff. So one thing that's not mentioned oftentimes, it's a lot of times what leads to some of these violent events in schools, and really the acts or threats of school violence, it's really done by individuals with unstable mental health conditions. And so mental health is an area that we're really focusing on as well, as mental health disorders in schools are on the rise, with reports showing that 1 in every 5 students experience some type of mental health issue. So in addition to this, the social emotional well-being of school staff can be compromised if healthy, safe care habits aren't encouraged within our organization. So I listed some of the dedicated staff that we've hired to address student mental health issues, as well as some of the self-care resources provided by HCDE to help staff that may be dealing with some issues such as wellness workshops, 24/7 access to our employee assistance program hotline. We modified our school calendar this year, in which we did build in several additional staff holidays just to help, kind of like mental health days for staff. And this is something that's pretty commonplace across Harris County with our school districts as well. So, we're trying to look at things holistically, and obviously we know that these are some things that lead to acts of violence or threats of violence that have been occurring in our schools. So we want to make sure we have resources in place for both students and staff alike. So now what's next? So we're excited about the construction projects that we have underway, and obviously Academic and Behavior School East is first on deck, is being scheduled to open in December of 2022. And we also have a project going on at High Point East Middle School, in which the anticipated completion date for High Point East Middle School is February of 2023. So we're very excited about improving our facilities and making sure that, the physical space where learning occurs is adaptable to the needs of our students. So I was afraid the 7 minutes wouldn't be enough. Hopefully I've stuck to the script, but I'd like to take my last few seconds to just really extend a note of gratitude to the team of 8 for all the support that you guys have provided the schools division over the course of the last year. And, as well as HCD internal divisions. It truly does take a village to ensure that our students and staff have what's needed for them to thrive in this educational landscape. So again, thank you so much for all that you do for the students of Harris County. What questions do you have?
That's from our training. I got it.
Thank you, Dr. Ned. Any questions? Go ahead.
I'd just like to say to our special schools, it's one of the most unique things that Harris County Department of Ed actually provides. My background is in special education, and I've always have worked with our at-risk populations from day one. And I've not seen anything that resembles our schools anywhere in the country. And I've done site visits from Oregon to Maryland. And so they're unique. But what really makes them unique is the people who reside within the school. When you meet our staff and certainly the leadership on our campuses, you see people who are not afraid of children, who love children, who have understand the theory of accountability. They have a theory of action and a theory of leadership. And so it's interesting that when the kids who come to our campuses have experienced nothing but issues at their home campuses, they come to ours, and for the most part, there are no issues. And I think a lot of that is set by the tone and the professionalism of our staff that resides in it. And kids may not be able to articulate it, but they can feel it and sense it, that our staff's not afraid of them. In fact, they care about them, and they're trying to help them actualize their true potential. I think this is our recipe for success. And regardless if we stay to 4 campuses and go to more campuses, we will continue to try to embed that key thread with any facility that we have that utilizes students. So I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Ned. You've done a good job and getting to know your campuses quite quickly. And you've been here long enough now where you've been battle tested. And yes, even hazed when you first got here. I think your first presentation, you got hazed a little bit. But thank you for your leadership, and I certainly thank all of our principals and our administrations in this building. And I care so deeply about everything that you do. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Excuse me, President Cantu. Just to echo Superintendent Colbert, I wanted to say thank you, Dr. Ned. I'm super appreciative to have a community who's willing and ready to serve on the front lines. I mean, I have a son who's autistic, so knowing that there's a community there for him is very comforting. So I wanted to say thank you. And also, whoever's making these videos, we got to talk, because you cannot have me crying at every board meeting. All right? So we'll talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Was it my awesome guitar riffs, or?
We was hoping that you might demonstrate some of that for us at the end of the board meeting. We can find your guitar.
All right, now we'll move to reports from board members. Any board members? If not, I will just take this moment to recognize the Safe and Secure Schools Division and the Director, Julie Andrews, for awesome work. I know the heat has been on your section specifically because of everything going on lately, but I have known how important your work has been even before the devastating incidents that have happened recently. But I was fortunate enough to sit in on the presentation at the first Harris County Violence Prevention Conference, hosted by Harris County Public Health Department, which has a violence prevention division, which I think is awesome. They're doing some really innovative things out in the community, which I wish were promoted a little more. I think the community needs to know some of the things that our county administration is doing that's very innovative and helping to work hand in hand with law enforcement to prevent crime in our community. And the work that our Safe and Secure Schools Department does is very much a part of that. As an example, Ms. Andrews and her staff participated in a public safety forum Monday night. In my neck of the woods, I wasn't able to be there, but I got rave reviews about the dialogue that occurred between the community, the principals, the school representatives, community representatives, Harris County Sheriff's Department, and my staff, the East Aldine District, in working to focus on school safety. And it takes the entire community working together with law enforcement, with community leaders, and taking the time to listen, not just to the principals and the staff, but to the students. And so one of the outcomes of that meeting, and I'll just kind of want to brag about it because it was something that I had asked for before it came out in that meeting, something I had asked for our sheriff deputies to do. And so they are now going to start scheduling monthly visits to the area schools in Aldine to just sit and visit the students during lunch in the cafeteria and in a non-threatening environment, just being partners, being community members, being, as I used to tell my mom, they're my friends, Mom. She would say, when I would venture out of the neighborhood, she would say, watch out, the cops are out there, trying to scare me. And I would say, cops are my friends, Mom. And so I really believe that our kids need to be taught that. It's so critical that kids see law enforcement officers and others that work in the community as people that are there to help, people that are there to protect, not to threaten or hurt. And so thank you, Ms. Andrews, for being a part of that. I had hoped that we would do some of that, going forward. We would get out into the community and work hand in hand with school districts and law enforcement. And I think your division, whenever you're available to participate in those kinds of dialogues and discussions in the community, I think it goes a long way. So thank you so much. Also, just want to again give a shout out to the Communications Department for a great video highlighting Hispanic Heritage Month. Proud to be a member of the Hispanic community in Harris County, representing on this board, and proud of the work we're doing day in, day out for the last several years since I've been on this board, and proud to serve with my colleagues, really doing some great work, and proud of the administration, Mr. Colbert, and your staff. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Any reports from board committees? We had a couple of good committee meetings today. I don't know if you want to.
President, thank you. We did have a couple of committees today, and I'm just thankful that HCDE is making progress for our special schools and for our governmental partnerships. And so looking forward to Superintendent Colbert allowing us to engage and volunteer and just moving HCDE forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? If not, we will move on to our monthly financial reports. Dr. Masqua.
The financial highlights was of August 31st. This is a preliminary report for fiscal year 21-22. We have still going through the audit process. We still have to do accruals at the end of the year. So this is a preliminary look of how we're going to end up the year for fiscal year 21-22. Again, we have, let me preface that with, we'll still have some audit adjustments on payables that we have to accrue. So you will see a little bit different numbers whenever we get to the audit, but they're going to be kind of along the lines of where we're at today. All our information is posted on our website. And for the month of, as of August 31st, we have assets of $27,729,479, liabilities of $2,656,453, and projected equity of $23,986,726. This is a preliminary fund balance, $23,983,726. I projected that to be plus or minus $1 million because of the accruals that we will do at the end of the year. And so this is a very tentative number at this point in time, again, with about 2 more weeks to do accruals. Our indicators for the year, we're at 30% in terms of percentage of fund balance to the expenditures ratio. Last year we were at 35%, we're at 30% projected. Working capital ratio, we're at 25 million versus 35 million at the end of last year. In terms of undesignated fund balance ratio, we're at 64% versus 51% from a year ago. Our debt to income ratio is 9.2 versus 9% a year ago. Our tax revenue to total revenue maintaining at 26% for 2022 versus 2021. Our indirect cost ratio, again, maintaining at 3% for the same year as last year. Our fee-for-service ratio, again, maintaining at 20% versus 21%. And then our growth ratio, whereas in the past it was minus 6%, now we're at pretty much even. And so the recovery period has started, as you heard earlier today about some of our contracts continuing to increase. So you will see an increase in the new year because of the added contracts that are coming up. Our amendments and budget amendments for the year, we had some in September to January. We have some of $69,000, and you will see those in a later slide down the presentation. Our inflows or revenues, year to date we're at $87 million, $51,692,211. Special revenues at 44%. Debt service 95%, and so overall we're at 70% budget to actual. In terms of our expenses, we're at 84%, and then we have still $795,000 of encumbrances. That's what I've been talking about, that we need to do accruals, look at POs to see if we're going to roll them over or we're going to we'll receive the information so that we can accrue the expenses at the end of last year. So these encumbrances are basically purchase orders that have been outstanding as of year end, and then we need to evaluate whether we're going to cancel them, roll them forward, or they've already been fulfilled. So that's when I say that the numbers are going to be approximately about $1 million. Right now we have $795,000 commitment that we still need to clear out. But overall, this is a 75% level of budget to actual in terms of expenditures. In our COVID expenditures as of August 31st, we have $738,585 in the general fund, and then we have $986,843 still in the grant for COVID-19 from Health and Human Services. So that's still positive, and so we still have some funds available to be able to implement some of the programs in FY23. Our donations for the year were $139,912.60. Approximately in kind of $112,324.85, and cash of $27,587.75. For the month, there were some donations for our AB West, our Head Start, Children's Museum, and so totaling of $11,146.56. In terms of our collections and our values, let me take you a little bit back to last year, September 2021. At that time, the values were $520 billion. Over the next month, we projected that number was going to be realized to $520 billion. Well, it only ended up at $513 billion. So there was a slight decline in the value. Therefore, there's going to be a slight decline in the tax collections for that year. And so that's kind of an anticipation of when we talk about the values here coming up in another presentation. So that being said, the potential loss of tax revenue is $436,610 for the year because of that loss in the values from the beginning in September to today. Year-to-date collections are $25,191,193 at 97.8% collection. If you notice in this presentation, we have a negative year-to-date collection of $70,877. What that is basically we've been paying a lot of the refunds from previous years where the the appraisals have been providing some refunds, and so we have to reduce some of the expense and revenue rather to pay those refunds. We've paid year-to-date HCAD fees of $231,000, and the tax office to collect $516,834. When we compare this year to last year, 99% collection rate versus 97.7. Primarily the reason are some of the refunds from a year ago that basically reduce our revenue for the current year, where basically somebody filed for a petition to reduce the values and they were granted, and therefore we had to do a refund for previous years. And so that accounts for that 1.2% differential between fiscal year 21 and fiscal year 22. For the month of August, our disbursements were 418 disbursement, 694 transactions, 6 transfers totaling $7,165,048. All the detail is posted on our website. All the checks and transactions are posted as well. Segment information data for the educational certification, we have a benefit variance of $359,483. Records management, $409,232. Therapy services, $2,674,214. And then special schools, $5,331,822. The choice partners that transfer into the general fund is projected right now at $4,276,843, above their expenditures of $2.3. So they brought in $6.5 million, the expenditures for the division of $2.3, and then transferred to the general fund $4.2 at a ratio of 1.86%, continuing to maintain the growth in that division. Our amendments for the month, due to additional requests from our school districts that require additional therapy services. So we're increasing the budget by $312,415 due to 3.4 positions and an increase in contracts with additional districts that require some additional services. And so we need to amend the budget in order to accommodate for that expenditure. We also need to include some transfers and some additional costs for Hypon East, AB East, AB West, Fortis Academy, for increasing the constable's contract and student management information system, and the net amount is $45,525. Two other amendments, one that I'm going to recommend deletion, and there will be a later discussion, is amending the capital project fund for the equine project. Later on, we'll talk about the detail as to that item is being moved to future after the bond sale. And then we have also, Ms. Lengua, do we need to delay the budget amendment for High Point at this point in time? So we'll delay the discussion on that as well until after the session. So with the amending the budget, we need to remove those two items from the action for the financial statements. In terms of the educational foundation, we have equity of $457. A statement of activities, operating revenue of $198,000 for the month. And then we have all the checks attached to it. Let me get to the balances per program. We have after-school initiative amounts as of August 34, $119,691. EcoBot, $51,877. Adult Ed, $5,000. Instructional support services, $6,737. Project Enter for the Future, I believe that's case, $1,732. Dollar General Literacy Grant, $2,900. And then we have funds from Partners in Education, $120,140. This is before the FY23 allotment. So this is before the one for fiscal year 23. So there's still $120,000 in the program. Other projects, $12,046, Head Start $7,020, and then Tools for Teachers, $143,500 also. Those two also are before the FY23 grant for the new program for the new year. PFC and lease revenue projects. We continue with the small business program for construction. In your agenda, there was a report about all the programs for all the construction projects and the percentages. They all exceed the 15% minimum requirement for that program. Year to date, we have a total CIP as of August 31st of $35,338,506. We have a year to date AB East is at 59%, Irvington of 19%, High Point East 15%, adult debt program 33% year to date, and so we spend year to date, or a project today rather, 34% overall, but we still have $35 million yet to spend in the capital improvement program. For the Irvington renovation, we had some local construction, so net amount available is $10,490,382. That's the proposal from 2020, and that's the information for as of August 31st, 2022. What questions do you have?
Can you go to page 14 for me, please?
Sure.
This was federal grants.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering what requirements are attached to that? What do we have an option to spend it on?
I'd like to ask Benita. For COVID-19, pretty much there are payroll expenditures, there are some supplies that are eligible to continue address COVID-19 safety for our Head Start programs. We have had in the past some additional incentives. We also have some training, some contracted cost supplies, PPE equipment, supplies for the Head Start centers, $986,000 for the federal grant.
Is there a time period that's going to run out if it's not used?
Yes, we have, I want to say 2023.
For the federal money is March 31st, 2023, and then we have some child care funds from the state that'll run out in May of 2023.
Okay.
But that's additional funding that's coming. That's above and beyond that number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's not identified there yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The investment report. Again, all our information is posted on our website. Our investment policy is certified. We have a total portfolio of $68,824,895, of which the Public Facilities Corporation is $17,707,527. Pretty much all our funds are in the investment pools, 43% in Lone Star, 18% in Texas Class, 12% in TechStar, and 21% in TechSpool, and 6% at Chase Bank. As the yield curve continues to go up, our interest rates are, we're going to climb because these are the rates will continue to rise. For the PFC, all of our funds are in TechSpool. and Bank of Texas, which is the $17,707,527. The change from a year ago is basically minus 12%, which is we have used some of the portfolio for our expenditures, which is $9,698,650 from a year ago. Pretty much right now, all our funds are overnight, and our short-term funds have been increasing. There is a meeting today by the Federal Reserve, and tomorrow they're going to announce what the rates are going to be. There's an 82% chance that 75 basis points is going to be increased, the overnight Fed funds. And there's an 18% chance that it's going to go up 100 basis points. So right now, the Fed funds is at 3.12, which means if a bank wants to borrow from the Fed, they're going to charge them 3.12. So when you add 75 basis points tomorrow, if that happens, then the rate will be 3.87. So the cost of capital is going to go up tomorrow by doing that. And so what's happening is the yield curve typically moves up like that. The higher you go, the longer you go, the higher the interest rate. What's happening is basically the interest rate is going this way, which is inverted, which is basically an anticipation of potential recession. So the short term is going up higher than the long term. And so you'll see the curve becoming steeper on the opposite direction. Year-to-date earnings are $239,182. And in the PFC...
Dr. Amezcua,
yes, sir.
Can you go back to the previous slide?
Sure.
I just want to bring attention to your phenomenal skills of drawing with the mouse. We all know how difficult that is, and you've obviously been practicing.
Thank you. All right. We are earning 2.27 on our funds. So after tomorrow, it will be 75 basis points higher because of the Fed's changing that. So here's the progression. If you remember, a year ago, we were at right here, 1 basis point overnight. We're right now at 216 and going up to 3%. So this gives you what has happened in the last year in terms of the progression. And you'll see in April where that was the change of the 75 basis points. And it is looking like in September that's what's going to happen again. And so the cost of capital will go up, but we'll see more money in our investments, but also in our debt as well. So overnight, if we were to invest today, these are the rates that we would be able to get on our funds today. That's the report for the month of August. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you.
No questions. Thank you, sir. All right, we will move on to the consensus portion of the agenda. Are there any items that trustees would like to take out of order or to pull from the consensus? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the consensus?
So moved.
Seconded.
Dr. Amezcua.
Budget amendment for Hypon East and also for Equine, excluding that item until after executive session.
6A2?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Norris, you agree with that amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Trustee Norris and seconded by Trustee Duhan. Any discussion about consensus? If not, all those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Unanimous. ground. All right, now to non-consensus, starting at 7-1. Rejection of all proposals received in response to requests for competitive sealed proposals, job number 22/0551A for the construction of the new Coolwood Head Start Center. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris. Second?
Seconded.
Second by trustee Duhan. Any discussion?
Explanation, please.
Can we get out?
So we had proposals open. We had only 2 bidders come in, and our budget was about $6.7 million. And the first proposal that we got of the 2 bidders was $1.7 million over that. The next bidder closest to that was $3 million over. So at this time, we're asking for the rejection of bids so that we can go back and re-look at the project and try to get this project back in line, back in budget, I would say, for the next competitive seal bid and go out as soon as possible.
All right. Any other questions? If not, we had a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Any opposed? The next one, 7-2, approval of project delivery contract method of construction manager at risk, also known as CMAR, to serve as a general contractor and provide consultation during the design and rehabilitation of the existing HCDE administration building at 6300 Irvington Boulevard.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris.
Seconded.
Second by trustee Duhan. Any discussion?
Just for the record, I wanted to make sure it was intentional that President Cantu did not read the latter part of that statement, and construction of the new Equine Enrichment Center project. That's been pulled by administration. Right. Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
You have a question, Ms. Trustee?
When we go into executive session, I will give you further explanation of that along with some legal counsel.
All right, we had a motion and a second. Oh, I'm sorry, any other questions?
I would like to further just state that if we need to hear something about this, I'd like to wait to pass it.
No, so the part that we'll discuss in executive session is the exclusion of the equine center, the pulling out of that portion.
Okay.
Was your question about the first portion that you are approving? No. So the first portion is very routine. The law requires anytime we're procuring a construction project, it's specific for construction, that we come to the board first. And our local policy says, I believe if it's more than $200,000, that the board is the one to approve the construction delivery method, which procurement method we're going to use. And so in this case, administration has recommended the CMAR, construction manager at risk method of procurement and contract delivery for the Irvington renovation project. So you're just approving for that procurement process to be developed and to go out on the street. Correct.
Any other questions? If not, we had a motion and a second, and no further discussion. So all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion is unanimous. 7-3, it's an approval of resolution adopting the prevailing wage rates for HCDE Public Works and Construction Facilities projects.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by trustee Norris, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. 7-4, approval of the project delivery contract method of job order contracting and approval for a job order contract for the fire alarm, security cameras, and access control at the new Barrett Station Early Head Start campus with quality security systems.
So moved.
Motion by trustee trustee Norris, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. 7.5 and 7.6 have been pulled, and so we'll move on to 7.7, approval of, is it 3.4, additional full-time equivalent positions for the School-Based Therapy Services Division for the school year 2022-2023 to fill additional occupational therapy position requests from current client districts. Hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Duhan, second by trustee Dick. Any discussion?
Why the point?
We have a question about why the .4 is that?
It's based on hours.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, these are districts that say, can you do therapy for 2 hours a week? And so, we break it down by hours.
Okay. Any other discussion? Not. Did I get a motion for this? Yes, sir. I did? Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Sorry about that. Number 8, approval of the revised 2022 certified property values and the submission of the revised no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate using the certified estimate of taxable value by Harris County and a proposed plan to adopt tax rate of .004900 for the tax year 2022 in accordance with the Truth in Taxation laws codified in Chapter 26 and amended by the 87th Legislature.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris.
Seconded.
Seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Dr. Amasco, you have a...
Yes, there's a handout that gives you the no new revenue rate, which is .004541, the voter approved rate of .4915. The recommendation is to adopt a proposal of .004900, which is .0090 less than the previous year. The next step would be to post for a public hearing and adopt it in October so that we can provide the adequate notice.
Okay. So I have a question. Is that, can you repeat how much lower it is than last year?
Yes. .000090.
Okay.
4 zeros and then 90.
4 zeros.
It's the 90 eliminated from the .004990.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Was 499.
I won't ask you what percentage of that is.
I can calculate in a minute. Let me just file.
No, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion is unanimous.
Just for information, the notice will will include the action taken and the votes taken by each board member. The actions need to be published. You have to record the vote by board member, so we have to list the names of the pros and for and against, or abstain, because they're not here.
Unanimous, yeah. So I guess the record will show that trustee Hinojosa was absent? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, item 9, consider rescheduling the regular February 2023 board meeting from February 22nd to February 24th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion unanimous. Number 10, adoption of resolution concerning emergency administrative leave with pay in accordance with policy DEA local associated with the City of Houston's shutting off water supply to HCDE's North Post Oak facility on September 9th, 2022.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Duhan, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? I don't know if you want to give just a quick.
Yes. HCDE has been experiencing some unfortunate circumstances that we cannot control with the city. And I think it was last week that, maybe it's the other week, MPO, we had to shut down for a day because we had a sinkhole and they had to cut off all the water to the building. And so the toilets wouldn't flush or anything else, so we ended up sending everyone home. And then recently we were informed that the city was going to be working on the power, and they were going to turn off the power to this entire building all day on yesterday. And so that would be a problem, seeing as though it's 96 degrees outside and the air conditioning wouldn't work, and people would be working in the dark. So I shut down the entire building, only to have it be a ripe 65 degrees in the building all the entire day. They didn't shut down any power yesterday, and we sent everybody home. And so that is a point of frustration for this organization, but obviously we're bringing to you a resolution because these weren't expected days, just like weather days. This is very similar to that. We were working with Centerpoint to try to communicate, and they can stay committed to their agreements and things that they say that they're going to do, because it has implications towards our operations. But there is a chance that they could cut off the power to the building next week now, but we don't know for sure. So that's what we're dealing with.
So we have to bring a resolution like this every time?
Yeah, it's retro. Okay. I mean, because, you know, it's a fly-by-the-minute decision.
And only the board can determine a public purpose is served by continuing to pay employees. So under the policy, Mr. Colbert's able to declare the emergency and close the buildings and release staff, but only the board can declare that there's a public purpose to pay employees. So that's why you're seeing that here. And so you'll see a similar one next month for the closure of Irvington.
Okay. So just so it's clear, they weren't sent home because it was my birthday. It was Centerpoint's
Although
fault.
you're very special. It's not.
Yeah. All right, so if there's no other discussion, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Pay our employees. Motion passes. Item 11, approval of amendment resolution regarding child care relief funding incentives for Head Start staff. Hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Dick. Seconded by trustee Norris. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. And it is now 2:22, and we will go into executive session.
Sorry, you have to say the 551. You have to say you said the time. You have to say pursuant to 551.
Oh,
like you gotta
sorry.
say that.
Pursuant to Texas, under the Texas Government Code, pursuant to any and all purposes. All right, it's 3:15, and we are reconvening in regular session, and we will consider item number 10, consider approval of change order number 1 to contract with C.A. Walker Construction for High Point East Middle School project, and delegate authority to the superintendent or his designee to negotiate, finalize, and execute change order number 1. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Yep. Go ahead.
Could you add the budget amendment related to it?
We're going to do that next.
Okay.
Yes, didn't forget, but thanks.
If there's no other discussion, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Go to 6A2.
So we will go back to the top. 6A2 and approval of the budget amendment report. Hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris, seconded by trustee Davis. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Item 11, discuss any discussion or on any possible action regarding future agenda items. Do we have anything? If not,
I have a clarification question. Couldn't get that one out. I think I had seen something about the Tools for Teachers program having to close within 1 hour. Is that correct?
We filled the 2,000 slots in 62 minutes, but we left it open for an additional 35 minutes so that we had additional registrants in the event that they were ineligible, they were a charter school, private school, wrong address, wrong email, etc.
Do you know what the total amount of people came out to be after the 62 plus 35 minutes that it was open?
I think we went up to I want to say 3,010 or something like that, just in case. So we had over 700 people on the waiting list.
So I would say that it's safe to say that we have much higher demand than supply in this situation.
I would say initially what we saw though was with the shopping period, we condensed it to a week and we only had 1,483. We had 3 stragglers that came in. 1,483 teachers who actually took advantage of the coupons out of the 2,000 that were allotted.
all right. Anything else? If not, I think that is it for today. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn, trustee Norris, second by trustee Dick. No discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.